Hey, welcome to our Golden Above call, number 4 of 4. We are so excited to be here to finish this series off, and we're so excited that you made the time to come jump on this call. We have some good stuff to share with you. In about 10 minutes, Brooke is going to hop on, do her segment, and then jump off and go fly to Oahu, I believe is where she's going today. So to get things started, I want to share with you kind of what we're going to talk about today. And if you have questions, we may have some time for some questions and like some troubleshooting and like specific answers that we can kind of talk about together. Because I know there's a lot of people on this call that have good ideas, that we can kind of share ideas on what works for us. So as we're talking, as we're going through this stuff, write some notes down. If you have good ideas that you feel, maybe would be good to share, please write those down, and I'm going to leave some time for you guys to kind of just lay it out there, ask questions, we can help each other, and hopefully we come away from this with some new ideas, new tools, maybe a little shift in the mindset, right, so that we can be more effective with our team. So we're going to start out today by talking about, well, I'm going to just lay out a scenario for you and see if you can relate to it. So how many of you, yourself or someone on your team, you have tons of momentum, things are going crazy, and you're like, this is so fun, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it, this is so easy, it's so fun, I love this, and you hit goals, and you're like, wow, how did I do that? Like, that's happened so fast, or it happened so easy, I'm not even sure how I got here, right? Maybe you get to see your goal that way. You have so much momentum, and it just naturally carries you to gold and senior gold. And you just think, this is awesome. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go to Ruby, and then I'm going to go to C. Like, you kind of think that momentum is going to take you all the way, right? Like, it's kind of a different dynamic here with what we do. And how would you know any different, right? Have you guys experienced that at all? Like, where you just have that huge wave of momentum, and you're like, yes, this is going to happen. Well, what happens is, depending on your situation and what kind of your story looks like, you get to gold or senior gold, and then things start to slow down a little bit, and you're like, oh, now what? You're like, I don't really know what to do now, because what I did was, it was so easy and it was smooth. Can you guys relate to that? Can anyone relate to this? How about you people on your team maybe, right? So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dig in, and we're going to talk about I love it, Vicki, exactly where you are. We're going to talk about some different components that you can really be aware of, and then some tools of how you can still dig in, and you can learn how to create multiplication. If you're not muted, will you mute yourself? Sometimes if I don't have to, like, it's totally cool for me to find you, but then I have squirrel brain and I forget what I was saying, right? So we're going to address that. We're going to talk about, okay, now how do you take ownership? How do you start that momentum again? And guys, the thing is how do you understand the different seasons and be a professional, right? And appreciate each season, but also how to still create movement when you feel like you've kind of hit your lid, so to speak. So we're going to dig in and talk about this today. So again, if you're just joining us, when you have ideas of things that you've done that have worked, or something that you have a question about, or something that you think we would be served, something good you heard, if you have any ideas, please write it down. I'm going to leave some time so that we can share some ideas and really just exchange good ideas, so all of us can really grow from this and learn some different ideas. So to start things off, when you picture when you get started and you fly, right? That's kind of how my story was, honestly. I posted after my 90 days because I was such a brat, and I was like, you're not making me do anything with this thing. I'm not. That's so cute. I opened up my back office and I was like, oh, that's so cute. They think you can like build a downline. How cute. No joke. I was like, James, come see this. There's actually like a tree thing. That's darling. Guys, people do that, right? People start out. So I say that because I want you to be aware of the Christies on your team. Be aware of the people that say H to the no, I'm not doing this, but they're starting their products, right? So you've got to be aware of those people. You've got to take really good care of them so that they can get great results, because a lot of people get started sharing right away, but a lot of people don't, right? So a lot of times it can be really easy to buy into the mindset of, oh, they don't want to do the business. They said they won't do the business. So then you just turn it off in your heart and your brain and you say, they're not going to do it, right? And then you don't really treat them like they will. So be aware of those Christies. But when I started to share, guys, 90 days into my journey, I was like, dang, you guys all know my story maybe. If you don't know my story, I didn't want to share. And then I started to feel amazing. After 90 days, I got my life back. And it was a huge change for me. And my wheels started to turn. And I was like, oh gosh, I think I might need to share this. But I don't want to do network marketing. I hate that. Like, prayed about it for a whole weekend because I'm such a huge God girl that I was like, look, I'm being stubborn. I feel like I don't want to do this. But if it's your thing, and if your way is always the best way, so if you want me to do it, I know that it's going to lead to blessings. Spoiler alert, like, this has changed everything for us, right? So I'm glad I listened to that. But I was digging my heels in and I didn't want to do it. Once I got my answer though, and I did a post on Facebook, I enrolled 15 people in a week. Okay? Most of them I hadn't talked to in years. Like, I had some high school acquaintances that I didn't even really know. I had hardly any of my close friends. To this day, I don't have very many close friends on Plexus. So if you don't have very many friends on Plexus, you're not different. That's normal, right? But I had tons of people sign up that first week. I went to convention 2 weeks later. I'm telling you this so you can kind of see the flow and how this works, so you can relate with it and you can relate with people on your team. So I went to convention 2 weeks later, kicking and screaming, but Brooke and Emily took every excuse away. They paid for it. They got me a room. They said you can bring your nursing baby. Emily went so far as to get me a ride. Like, they took all the excuses away, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do a hype session. But that's really where I was kind of waiting for my orders to process to go gold 2 weeks later. Okay, so that was a really fast start. A lot of people have really fast starts because relationships have always been really important to me, right? So you get those people that they have that really fast start. It's not like we compare and say that's good or better or not good. It just is what it is, right? You're dealing with a cross-section of humanity. Some people have really fast starts, some people don't. And we're here to figure out how to make it work with all the different kinds of people. So anyway, flew to gold, flew to senior. Well, I didn't really fly to senior gold. I didn't have anyone sharing on my team till after I was senior gold. Did you guys hear me? Okay, so you need to understand, if you have someone or if you yourself are thinking, no one's going to do this with me because I'm gold and I've been stuck at gold forever and I can't get anyone sharing. First of all, do not cry yourself a river. This is business, guys. That happens sometimes. That doesn't mean anything about your ability to do this successfully. Okay, did you hear me? So if you are a gold or a senior gold right now and you don't have anyone sharing on your team yet, neither did I, and I'm going to be a diamond. It doesn't dictate your success if you don't have people sharing early. Katie Tucker, who's an amazing woman who's going to hit Ruby in a minute. She's amazing. It took her a kind of a long time to get to senior gold. Okay? She was stuck. Whatever. Part of her journey was at gold for a while. And then Nicole Jones joined her team. And really, Katie didn't have anyone sharing either. Nicole Jones joined her team, and she had a huge fast start. So Katie hit senior gold, and now she's hitting Ruby in a matter of a couple of months. Okay? So just understand, sometimes it takes a while to find the people that are going to share. But yes, gold. Guys, we totally get that. Oh, okay, I'm going to mute people. If you are not muted, I love you. Oh, is that bad? Okay. So the bottom line is, You can't judge your journey and say, oh, see, no, this isn't going to work for me because I'm a gold and I've been gold forever and I can't get anyone sharing. First of all, the energy of saying that makes me want to go like this. Like, oh, don't say that stuff out loud, guys. You can't say that stuff out loud. You can think it and then you give yourself compassion. You say, but what do I have control over, right? So if you get to that point and you feel like you don't have people sharing, no one's going to share. I hit senior gold on my own enrollments because I was a determined chick and I got an answer and I was not going to turn back. I was like, this journey, I submit, I surrender. There's going to be ups and downs, but I know I'm supposed to do this. There's thousands of people waiting. Guys, that was my answer. There's thousands of people waiting for me to show up. I'm showing up. I don't know who they are. I don't know where I'm going to find them, but I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep doing what I can do. I remember days where I was stuck. I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, oh, no one's sharing. And it was my work time. And I would come down with this very computer in my unfinished basement with my heater on my feet. And I would sit there and go, okay, it's time to work. So I'd open up my back office and I'd open up my messenger. Nothing. I wasn't senior gold yet. Nothing happening. How many of you can relate to that? You're like, oh, it's time to work. You sit down and you're like, crickets, right? You can tell yourself, no one wants to do this with me in that moment. See, no one wants to do this with me. Or you can say, I haven't found them yet. Let's go. And I chose to say, oh, look, I could just close my computer, nobody would know, and go upstairs and just conveniently not do my work time. I could do that, but I'm determined. I know I'm supposed to do this. There's thousands of people. Let's go. So I'd start drumming shiz up. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to drum shiz up, to start to say, okay, who can I talk to? What can I control? What action can I take? How's that person doing? What one conversation will lead to an enrollment, right? You've got to drum shiz up, you guys. You can't tell your story and keep telling your story that no one wants to do this with you. Because guess what? If you say that, then no one's going to want to do it with you, right? But if you're on fire and you see the vision, there's whatever your vision is, and you stay hooked on that, and you say, I know that's happening. I am creating it. I am moving forward. I've created it here first, and now I'm just walking it out, right? So that is, I want to challenge you first, write this down. You get to commit. If you are a gold or a senior gold or a ruby or anywhere, no matter where you are, and you feel this stuckness, you feel like no one wants to do it with you, no one's sharing, how do I keep going? Commit, this is what I want you to write down. Commit to dig in, okay? Commit to dig in, no matter what your results look like right now. You cannot base what you're doing day to day on what your current results are. Does that make sense? So if you feel like, oh, there's crickets right now, okay, cool, awareness. There's not a ton going on. Well, guess what? The good news is, here comes you, and you're committed to your vision, and you're going to sit down and you're going to drum shiz up, right? That's what my team knows. I always say drum and shiz up. That means you just dig in and you just start doing it. You don't ask how. You don't say, what should I do? What's the best way? You dig in and start drumming shiz up and caring about people and following up and making contacts and reaching out and like drum it up, right? Dig in. So I want you to commit right now. If you haven't already, I want you to commit to your weekly work schedule. Maybe it's different day to day, and you kind of need to decide what it looks like for you and what works, but you have got to make a commitment that you are going to show up for work. Because guys, we get to be our own bosses, but are we good bosses? Like, we have to show up, right? It's really easy with this kind of a business to just go, oh, shoot, it was a busy day, right? Nope. If you treat it like that, then guess what? You don't have a business. If you want a business, you show up, okay? So commit to your time that you're going to work, the time that you're going to dig in, right? The time that you're going to open your back office and you're going to feel that that whisper that says, it's crickets. Nobody wants to do this with you. And then you're going to say, oh, bullshit. I'm going to do my 10 minutes of personal development right now so that this voice is louder and says, you create your reality. You can do this, right? You got that vision. Those voices are always going to be there. The whispers are going to be there. And you're going to say, here I go. I'm going to strengthen that voice. I'm going to do my 10 minutes of personal development. to start. That's how I start my work. Whatever it is, a podcast, something on YouTube, a book, an Audible. You do those 10 minutes before you start working, but you commit to your weekly schedule. For me, my really intentional work time is like 12:30 to about 3:30 every day. It's when I used to take a nap. I created a six-figure plus, a multiple six-figure business during nap time. That is totally oversimplified. It is not just during nap time. That would be a lie. But the bulk of my work is in that time. That is absolutely true. Do I do Zooms at night sometimes? Yes. Do I work in the mornings? I do like a 20 or 30 minute, like, to get everything going for the day? Yes. The bulk of my work is during nap time. Holy shiz, yes, thank you. Do you guys want a multiple six-figure income working 3 to 4 hours a day when it works? Like, hello, that's amazing. So, but you have got to commit to your work schedule and show up for your work, right? Okay, so that is a huge part of it. Now, we're going to talk about what it looks like to dig in and drum shiz up, okay? So, the mindset. You guys know I always go back to mindset because someday you're going to be like, oh, that's why Christy always talked about mindset, because it really is all about mindset. But I want you to know, my first person that started sharing, that really started to share, was Dr. Kim, okay? I was so committed to the vision of this. Every time I took my kids in, and she was kind of watching me, right? She's like, how many people are on your team now? And I was like, holy crap, like 25. She's all, whoa. Next time I went, because I was there all the time with my kids, how many people? I remember saying like 57. And she's like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, I knew she had a little interest, right? And she was watching my health improve. But here's what I want you to get. Guys, there is no way in hell, no way she would have started doing this with me if I wasn't sold out. Okay? So if you are casual and you are timid about what you're doing and you are not passionate, that doesn't mean you have to be me and say weird words and like make people uncomfortable with the weirdness. Like, that's me, right? You be you, but you must be committed. You must have a burning excitement about what you're doing. You must have a vision. You must show up. Because if you don't, no one is going to want to follow you now, right? That's okay. I don't say that to sound mean. They may not want to follow the old you. But guess what? Today's a new day, and you can get a vision for your future. You can get a solid answer, and you can get committed and sold out and passionate today. And you're going to start attracting people that are like, ooh, I just don't know if I can not follow you. You're doing something big. I can feel it. Okay? So I didn't have anyone sharing until I was senior gold, but I acted like I did. You want to know what I was saying? I was saying things like, this is huge. We're doing something huge, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know it's huge, and I have chills. You got to speak that stuff into existence so that people will want to follow you. Does that make sense? Because Kim, she could, like, there's a difference. Just look at this, like my face, okay? There's a difference between, yeah, I think it's working, and I think it's actually working. Can you see that? Like, when you're sold out, when you are sold out and you are committed, you talk differently. There is a different energy. People perceive you differently. It makes them affected. They're like, whoa, she's doing something big and I don't know if I can miss out on it. Do you understand that? But you create that with your vision, with your mindset, with your energy, with taking care of yourself. So really, until you get people sharing, your number one priority is to manage your energy, guys. Manage your emotions. Be on fire. So if you're right now, if you're stuck, quote unquote, if you feel stuck, guys, you got to get your heart on fire. Because you get your heart on fire and you do your personal development and you learn about how you can get out of your own way more, guess what's going to happen? You're going to take more action. Guess what's going to happen? People are going to be like, ooh, what's Lori been doing? Like, she's kind of scaring me with how excited she is, and I just kind of think I can't not follow her. Seriously, So that is step one, and write it big. So you wrote down commit to your work time or commit to drum and shiz up. Whatever you wrote there, you've got to write get on fire. Okay, on fire doesn't mean, woo, let's go. It means, woo, I saw my vision, I see it, I can feel it, I'm excited about my why, and it makes me want to take action, right? So write that out, because that is going to be your first priority until you start to get things moving, because that's energetic, personal momentum comes before any sort of momentum that shows up in your back office. So if you're not there yet, that is your first priority. Beautiful, Brooke Hemingway. Take it away, babe. We'll finish what I was saying after you get off.
Well, I hope I don't repeat what you already talked about.
Go ahead. I'm sure it's great.
You guys can hear me okay? You might hear a little bit of airport noise in the background, so I apologize if they come on the speaker, and if it's way super annoying, then I will just stop talking. But I had something really important that I wanted to talk about today, and so that's why I'm like, I'm going to make it work while I'm waiting to get on the airplane. So when I was thinking about, you know, when people are stuck, or when you're a gold or a senior gold or a ruby or a senior ruby ambassador, and you're not really seeing the change that you want to see, and you're not really seeing the growth that you want to see. Christy and I talked a lot about mindset, and I was thinking about what my mindset was back when I was in that position as a gold, senior gold ruby ambassador. And it certainly wasn't a mindset of really believing and acting in a manner to where I was trying to get everybody to share. And I was trying to introduce everybody to that opportunity, because we're kind of talking about digging for gold here and identifying people. And, you know, lately, well, I would say actually for a long time, I've changed that and shifted that. And just yesterday had the opportunity to help one of my level ones. She just signed up this month. She signed up her first person. I'm in that conversation with that first person, and we've got that first person that she signed up already sharing, that has about 3 people queued up to sign up. And so, you know, I think when people tell me, everybody I have, like, nobody wants to share, I actually never believe that. And if that is the case, then I think you have to take a look at your approach. How are you approaching it? What is your verbiage? How do you talk about it? Are you using things like, well, let's just help you get 3 people and your products will be paid for? Honestly, I don't feel like that's the most effective verbiage. I don't feel like talking about silver or saying, let's just get you 3 people. Like, they've probably heard that before if they were in another network marketing company, or that doesn't really move them to act, I don't believe. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you was how I approached this with this person yesterday. And maybe, you know, I don't have the ability to copy and paste it in the comments here, but maybe when I'm done talking, I can send it to Christy and she can do that. But, you know, basically this level 1 of mine has her new person signed up. She happens to, before she even signed up, she's a single mom, money is tight. I know that you guys have all heard, you know, people, money is tight, they can't afford it. And so, you know, I happen to be particularly passionate about helping single moms, about helping people that can't afford it, because I feel like this is something that people need so badly. And so if you can get it inside of your mind that everybody needs this so badly, you can tell yourself that before you go to work. They need this so badly. So I need to make an emotional connection with this person to help them feel like I am there to hold them, to carry them, to support them, and to help them see that they can do this, because nobody feels like they can do it. Like, nobody when they start feel like they can do it. And so my response to her was, you know what? I'm going to make up a name. You know what, Sarah? I'm actually really, really passionate about helping single moms be able to afford these products, because number 1, I know that you really need these products for your health. And number 2, I know that it would be such a blessing to you to even have a little bit more margin in your life. Would it be okay if I shared with you a special program Plexus has specifically for people like you that really need the products but can't necessarily afford them? That's how I said it. And she was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. So it was a change. It was a connection first. I always tell people to just like back up a second before you go into the information and relate and empathize and sympathize and bring the human element into it. And to me, sorry, you can hear that, right? To me, empathy is everything. And even if you're not a single mom, you've never had that experience in your life. Like, I'm not a single mom. I have a great marriage. My mom was a single mom after 25 years of marriage. You know, there's a part of you that can relate to everybody, no matter what their circumstances. So relate to them. And the way that I talk about it is a special program Plexus has to help people just like you, whatever situation they're in. And so then I'm gonna read to you when she said, yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna read to you what I sent to her, and maybe you can jot down some notes. Can you guys hear me? I had to go off my camera. Christy, can you still hear me? I can't see you, so can y'all hear me still?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so this is what I said to her, and this got her to post and message people before she even ordered her products. And by the way, she ended up ordering a $1.99 welcome pack, which, remember, she was someone that's saying she didn't have money. So I said, with Plexus, because you would be new, if you are wanting to make enough to cover your products and extra income, if you start with the package I recommend for your health issues, then refer 3 friends to do a similar thing, you will earn $500 if done by the end of April, or $420 if done within 14 days, or $320 if done within 30 days. This would cover your products for months, and there would be additional income on following months as they continue to love and take their products. They just came out with this program in January, and it's helped a lot of people get past the hurdle, and their friends are loving the products alongside them. Basically, Jen and I would help you every step of the way and do the explaining of the products and even how to help them to keep it simple for you. We all know 3 people who struggle with weight, energy, mood, digestive, or other health issues. For me, it was my best friend, my mom, and my sister-in-law, all of which still take and love the products. So I hope you could hear that okay. But basically, I kept it very comfortable language. I also gave her the example of who started with me in the beginning. And I gave her the biggest vision, the most amount of money she could make. But I also said, you know, if you do it in 14 days, you're still going to earn great. Because I feel like if you get to people even today, there's time by the end of the month to help them go silver and to make that $500. But how can you empathetically get into a conversation today with people that have joined new, or tap through your level 1 to your level 2 to start these conversations about this awesome new program that Plexus has to help people just like you. So that, I wanted to share that example, but I feel like one of the biggest things that has to shift inside of you to create duplication and to see massive growth in your business is to see the potential for every single person to go silver, to never rule anyone out or think that they wouldn't want to do this, and to make it a part of your system, because we're always talking about systems, but to make it a part of your onboarding system, that every single person that comes into your organization knows this. Now, it's kind of impossible for me to do this all throughout my organization right now, but if you have a smaller organization, this can be a part of what you do. And if you go into it, like Christy, I think you were talking about, with this high energy level and positivity and you know, belief that they're going to want to do it, it changes the outcome. So that's one of 2, like in the last couple of days, I've had 2 people just like totally be willing to do it. But I'm going in so confident. I'm not fumbling. I'm not apologizing in any way in my verbiage. I'm just like, this is really incredible. Let's do this together. So I feel like that's going to help. But then the other thing I wanted to talk about briefly, did you talk about Super Silver already? No? Okay. So I feel like, you know, sometimes we can be really great at getting people to silver, but we totally miss the mark on Super Silver, and we forget about Super Silver. So Julia has a great example of this. She's got this wonderful new ambassador. Her name is Amy. And Amy, if you watch this later, don't tell me for talking about you. But Julia's in China doing adoption, right? Like, she is up to her eyeballs. And this Amy is awesome. She went regular silver in 14 days. She had 2 with a $99 pack and 1 with a $199 pack. And so I was working with Julia to tap her through Amy and help Amy, especially while Julia was gone. So encouraging her, giving her ideas, doing a Facebook event with her. She was able to go fast start silver and get a couple more people with a $199 pack. She met the 30-day mark. Now she just joined on March 26th. So she met that mark, but not only that, we've been capped in this division. Like once she got to 5 ambassadors, like we're at 5 ambassadors. You know, if you get 5 more in your total organization, and you get to 10, you're going to get another $150 bonus. So she's at 8 as of today, and she's going for 10. And she has 1 person under her that signs somebody up, or maybe 2 people. So it's like, don't stop at silver. If somebody has 3 already, you let them know about the next level. Even today, who do you have that's at silver? Because we have double welcome pack bonuses. If you go through your genealogy and you sort it by team points, and see how many points they have, and how many, like, you can even go back to last month and look at the team points, but even as of today, go and look at the team points. Who do you have that's silver? Maybe they don't even really recognize there are double welcome pack bonuses. That super silver is anybody in their organization levels 1 through 3 that joins them. Any welcome pack, they get mock points for super silver. So if they had 6 ambassadors last month that get 100 PV this month, and then they have 4 new joins with any size welcome pack, guess what? As long as one of those ambassadors is someone they sponsored, just 1 person this month, they're super silver. So I want to encourage you guys, like, I think a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, it's like close to the weekend, it's close to the end of the month. I couldn't possibly help anybody go silver in 5 days or super silver. BS. BS. You can help, you can see any of that happen. And if you guys just have that little bit of vision and don't miss the mark with super silver, that is somebody with 10 ambassadors on your team. 10 ambassadors ordering, that's 50 points. Maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, gold, like that's a lot to develop somebody to gold. Let's start with super silver. You develop a bunch of super silvers, 50 points, 50 points, 50 points, boom, boom, boom. That adds up. And so I just want to bring some awareness to that, because I personally have been really thinking about that and focusing on that. And I just don't know if that's translating down to you guys. And recognize the crap out of people. Okay, one more tip. Am I talking too long, Christy? So I'm not always perfect about this, and I will be the first to admit this. Sometimes I'm really on with this, sometimes I'm not. Like, honestly, with the size of my team, sometimes I lose track of this. Like, you guys are in the stage where, like, you have the ability to know every time someone new joins your team. Every time. Now, if I have 1,006 people join me in a month, I can't be doing this. But if you have a team where 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, even 100 people are joining your team every month, you have the opportunity that as soon as that person joins your team, you welcome them. You make them feel like a part of your community, and you congratulate the ambassador that enrolled them. So if your team is only 2 or 3 levels deep, how much of your time every day would it take to, reach out to Vicki and say, hey, Vicki, congratulations on your new enrollment. I would love to know a little bit more about her. Because maybe Vicki is a new ambassador and she doesn't know how to approach Mary about going silver. Maybe you have to be the mastermind to understand not everybody's going to know the verbiage and how to approach it and how to make it not seem salesy or cheesy or any of those things. So if you can spend just a little bit of time every single day with your back office, who added someone, who joined, you have their email right there. There is nothing wrong with you. I personally think, I don't know what Christy thinks, but I personally, everybody that joins my team in my level 1 through 7, it's a welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Your sponsor is amazing. They're here to help you be successful. Here are the top tips for being successful on your product. If you'd love to learn more, how to earn, I forget exactly what I'm learning about the special program Flex has for new ambassadors, click here. I have the ability to do that in my emails, but you could even do a little blurb. But How much energy and time would that take you every single day? Like, honestly, guys, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. If you have a team that's growing by 1 or 2 or 3 ambassadors a day, it would not take you very much time, but it's those little personal touches, those little recognitions, that little stoke of the fire underneath new people or newly sharing ambassadors, that is the secret sauce. Like, you're looking for some like secret ingredient, or like, well, how did Christy do that? Or how did Brooke do that? Like, it was in the minutia. It was in the details. And if you have to set on your phone a reminder, like 9 p.m., team recognition, it goes off every night like clockwork. You open up your back office, or maybe you don't work it all at night, okay? That's totally fine too. 9 a.m., who joined my team yesterday, right? So those little touches are going to help you to find the potential to dig for gold, to develop more silvers, super silvers. Please don't forget about that. And then once they're at super silver, gold seems so much closer. And then we freaking pack the house at Gold Retreat, and we have all this new blood, and we are excited, and our teams are flourishing. Like, I just have this vision for it, that we got to get people the steps. Silver, but then don't stop there. Your job's not over there. Keep stoking the fire to get them to super silver. And once they're at super silver, they're going to see that gold is achievable. They're going to see that it's possible. You have to be the fire behind that. And I hope that's helpful. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, so amazing. Are you guys loving it? I got to do gallery view because I have to see your faces. Guys, thank you so much, Brooke. Are you still here? Is she gone? I think she's gone. Okay, that was awesome. Seriously, that woman is incredible. We're in Diamond University right now, right? Some people go to school to be a doctor, and they go for 12 years, and they just sit there and study all day long and do the homework. Like, you guys are so amazing that you're here and that you're open and you got your notebooks out. You are in Diamond University, and you have some pretty awesome teachers like Brooke Hemingway, right? And Emily, and all the leaders on our team are so awesome for so many different reasons. So Brooke, that was perfect. I feel like she's the master at this, like combining empathy with taking action, with vision casting. Like, that is what it takes to be a leader, and you're so amazing at that. So, okay, so perfect what she shared. I want to address one thing that I hear and I felt at Gold, Senior Gold, or any sort of wherever you're ranked, when I felt stuck. I remember talking to Brooke one time. I was at an Arby's drive-up, ready to get a beef and cheddar, because I was like, screw this. Do you ever have those days where you're like, I'm eating something naughty, I'm gonna like do something stupid just because I want to be a pouty baby, right? It's okay. I owned it. I ate that beef and cheddar, and it was super good, right? And it made me have a stomachache later, but whatever. But I was in line there on the phone with Brooke, and I was having a pity party, and I was like, everyone's quitting. Everyone's turning off their subscriptions. Everything's falling apart. I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do it. I want to, but I just can't. Who's felt that before, right? We all do, okay? But what she said was, Christy, like, so sweet, and she loves, and she's so kind, but she doesn't let you hang there. She said, okay, I totally get it. I know that feeling. I felt it. But is everything falling apart? Well, no. Okay. So who is loving their products on your team? I call it gold, senior gold-itis. When you start to think everyone's quitting, it's falling apart, you can't see it happening because you think everyone's not doing it anymore, right? Nobody wants to share. Everyone's turning off their subscriptions. Okay, so the trick here is there's always going to be the opportunity to look at who is falling apart, who's quitting, but there's always someone who's hanging. Even if it's just you, there's always someone who's committed. There's always someone who's in it. There's always, even if your leaders quit, there's always going to be something that you can focus on that is going right. Okay? The trick is, yes. Can you copy the message I just sent here that I read out loud? Copy it. Is it in the... Oh, yes. Let me open my messenger because I closed it so it didn't ding us the whole time. All right. So The point is, there's always a choice. You can always focus on, people are quitting, oh my gosh, this is falling apart. Or you can focus on, and this is the step that I want you to write down. So if you're committed to drum up shiz, right? Drum shiz up, just like Brooke's talking about. It's that, those recognizing people, reaching out, that's drumming shiz up, just like Brooke was talking about. Step one is to, if you are having a crisis and you need a pity party, cry it out, have a beef and cheddar. That's okay. But then you're going to sit down and you're going to say, okay, who on my team is loving their products? Let me copy this so that I can, this is awesome, Brooke. Thank you for that. Copy and, oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, you can still see me? Okay.
You know, it might be too long, and if it's too long and it won't copy, I can individually send it to people.
Well, there is part of it. Let's see. It got to, for me, it was my best friend.
Just go on with what you were doing, and if you guys want it, I can send it to you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So here's the step. So you have your little pity party. That's okay, right? Cry it out. Have a beef and cheddar. You're fine, okay? And then you're going to sit down when you're ready, and you're going to write out who is loving their products, who is showing up, who on my team wants to build, who is hungry, who shows up to the calls. And you are going to write down a physical list. Even Brooke and I and Emily and everyone that has even bigger teams, you could write down a list of the people who are really engaged, right? Your level 1s, your level 2s, your level 3s. But you're going to write it down, and you're going to say, these people are showing up. These people love their products. And then you're going to look through each and every one of them, and you're going to say, how can I grow this? That's your job as the leader, to say, okay, this person's loving their products. It's not going to be the same formula for all these people because they're all at different places. Maybe some of them are just getting started. Maybe some of them have 4 people on their team. Maybe some of them are gold. Maybe some don't want to share yet. You're going to look at the people who want to be there, who love their products, who are silver, who are showing up to calls, people that are hungry and they're waiting to be told what to do, right? And you're going to go line by line and you're saying, how can I help that person grow, right? What does this person need right now? And you're going to reach out. Hey, I'm so excited that you're starting this journey. These kinds of things are so much more effective when you have an accountability partner. So who can we get with you? And you, just like Brooke said, I wrote down these words when she was talking. You are confident. Remember, that's what we talked about at the beginning, because you have your vision, you are listening to your truth, and you are focused on that. You are confident, you are empathetic, so you're listening to what works for them, where they are, and then you are casting a vision. That is different for each person on that list that you just made. You're focusing on who's showing up, and then you're meeting them where they are, and that's what you're doing. When you sit down and you open your back office and it's crickets, this is what you do. You say, okay, who's here? Now, how can I help each person? So then your next step is, what am I involved with this person that I can show up in? So for example, when I was drumming shiz up, there was tons of people that had started three-way messages with me, and maybe I was out with my kids and I just quickly responded without being really thoughtful. I go through and I say, how can I show up in that three-way message? How can I bring the heat? How can I be a woman of vision, like Brooke was saying? How can I show up and be empathetic, confident, and have vision in that message right now? Maybe it is just a three-way message with some potentials. How many of us have so many three-way messages that have gone quiet? Tons. Sometimes, like once every couple weeks, I'll go through my messenger for like an hour and just wake up every single message just to get in there, right? Just to show up there. And that can, you never know what that will lead to. Sometimes that will be like, oh, I forgot about this. Like life got busy and I forgot that we were talking about plexus. So you're just taking that opportunity to show up. Maybe it is a level 2. Like Brooke was saying, you don't wait for your level 1s to do this. You're the leader, right? You are the epicenter. You're the one that starts the movement and it goes out from you, right? So you're going to, maybe you're going to go in with a brand new level 1 and they have a brand new level 1 and you're going to show up there. Maybe it's a level 2 or a 3. Anything that you are involved with, you are going to go in there and you're going to show up. right? You're gonna say, how's it going? I'm excited for you. You're gonna bring the energy because you've done your 10 minutes of personal development and you're centered, right? You know what your vision is, you know what you're creating, and you're gonna show up there. That is drum and shiz up. Are you guys catching on? You're looking for ways to show up. You're looking for ways to blow on that flame like Brooke was talking about. You're stoking the flame. You're saying, oh my gosh, I know the incentives right now. That was something I was gonna talk about. I know what the incentives are, and I'm gonna go into this message that has someone who has 6 people, and it's crickets, and I'm gonna be the epicenter of this momentum. And I'm gonna say, did you know you are 4 people away from hitting super silver? That means $150 for you, and you're gonna change 4 lives. What can we do today? Let me help you put a post together. Who else have you thought about? Let's wake up some old messages. You're the epicenter of that ripple effect, of that momentum. But you gotta get in there, right? You can't wait for people to come to you. You're creating it. You're getting in there intentionally. Okay, so I was gonna say, I wanna open it up for some questions and thoughts in a second. A couple more thoughts I want to leave you with. So when I say lead out, and when Brooke says lead out and create it, what does that look like? It looks like you open up, you show up for your work time, okay? You've made that promise to yourself, and you don't let yourself off the hook because you're a gosh dang professional, right? You show up to your work time, you do your 10 minutes of personal development, you deep breathe, and you let all the negative stuff go, and you are in the moment, you are present, you are intentional. And that means you open up your thing, and there's crickets. Every leader opens their thing to crickets at one point or another, even Brooke Hemingway. I know the truth. It's not always crazy momentum all the time. But when you're a leader, you're not scared away of crickets. You open up your thing and you say, all right, there's nothing happening right now, but guess what? I just came to the party and I'm the epicenter of the momentum. So here we go. I love to work with music on. Dave Matthews Band, like Hillsong worship music. Ooh, yeah, it makes me so excited. It makes me feel calm and centered. So you put the music on or whatever it takes, and then you start messaging. You make that list if you need to, and you say, what's going right? Who's showing up? Who can I stoke that flame with? And you start messaging. How are you? How are you liking your products? If you figured out your 4 percenters, you know what that means? We talked about that last week. Those people who really want it, who are moving the needle, you should be talking to your 4 percenters every single weekday, okay? You dig in with your 4%. You say, how's it going today? I know you were working on that goal. Catch me up. What's going on? Momentum, Emily told me this once and I love it. She's like, momentum isn't necessarily tons of enrollments. Momentum is you're talking to your people and they're engaging every day, right? So you're creating that. You're not opening up and saying, oh, it's crickets. You're like, oh, here we go. I'm a freaking leader. Let's go. I'm creating it. I'm digging in with my 4%. I'm digging in with the people who are on my list that are in, either with the products or the business or both, and you are messaging and you are creating scenarios like Brooke said. You're leading out with confidence, with empathy, casting vision. That's what you're doing, okay? So this last thought, this is something I shared with my accountability calls this last week because we got goals, right? We're finishing convention contests. It's the end of the month. It's the last month to rank before convention. And I shared how we do this. We talked about this on the first or second call, so I'm not going to go into it in a lot of detail, but I want you to revamp your identity with Plexus. You are a leader. You are the epicenter of the momentum. Your personal energetic momentum is most important. Most important. Your energetic momentum is the epicenter that radiates out to your team. You are the person that starts it. It doesn't come to you. It doesn't just happen to you. You create it. It looks like going into crickets and creating momentum energetically. That's what it looks like, okay? So I want to teach you to know about the incentives. You get the emails, guys. You don't ask your upline about the incentives. No, 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 no. You are a gosh dang professional. You get the same emails that we get, right? You dig into the back office, you look at that little FAQ at the bottom of the email, and you know the incentive, and you say, ooh, who could this work for, right? And then you get a goal, if it's with your people or if it's with you, and you get your piece of paper here, you sit down when it's your work time that you committed to show up for, and you come, you do your 10 minutes of personal development, you write your goal up here. Christy swept the convention contest, right? If that's my goal. And then I say, ooh, what's that gonna feel like? Ooh, how's that gonna like affect my family? And you get excited, and you get emotionally anchored, and you visualize it, and you're like, oh my gosh, the extra $5,000, maybe we'll go to Disneyland. Maybe we'll, get something for our yard. Like, you let your imagination go crazy with that at the top. And then you say, okay, what's it gonna take? And you start working out the numbers. You are the epicenter of the ripple, right? And then you say, oh, who could I help with their goal? That's gonna help me get mine, right? And you start listing it out underneath what you wrote at the top. And you say, it's gonna take me 10 more enrollments, or it's gonna take me helping this person get their goal. You have the list, you dig in, right? And then you start creating these little epicenters of energy and epicenters of momentum, right? Change the verbiage to say, I will find the way. Yes, you're on your way, you're doing it, you're working it out, right? And then after that, you guys, you just keep doing it, right? You show up, you enroll your people, you engage with them, you lead out with confidence, with empathy, and you cast vision. And that's what a leader does. That's how you create that momentum, okay? So I'm going to open it. Does anybody have ideas that they came up with while we were talking? Any ideas of things that you've done that have worked really well? Or questions? Or things that you would maybe love some specific guidance on? Unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear if you have ideas, questions, or anything like that for the last 5 minutes. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Hey, okay, so I reached out to some of my white lines, and what's really cool is not only did I get the one white line turned on, but the ones that had been sharing and loved their products, I was like, hey, what about that best friend that signed up with you? I see she's not using the products right now, but do you think she would join you? So she's like, yeah, you know what, I'll ask her. So she joined her. And then I said, hey, what about your sister? Your sister hasn't been ordering either. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to talk to her. And then what about your cousin? And so I remembered all their little stories that they've come to me with. And so anyway, so not only did I get one white line turned on, but there's a potential for 4 total. So I thought that was awesome. And so that's how I'm working that. And then I also did some gifts and incentives for my team, because we've been getting a lot of, like, we've been given a lot of money, and everybody else, like our new people sharing, get something. But I just thought, I think it's time to kind of give back to my team. So I went to TJ Maxx and I bought a bunch of stuff. And then I actually offered $100 with the help of Brooke and Barbie, who are above me. We combined efforts, and they each gave 25. I gave 50 to anybody that went silver 2 weekends ago, and I got 2 silvers, 2 people to go silver by offering that. And they were hustling for that money, but it made other people try. And so we had a lot of people added to my team when I did that. And so sometimes you have to think, God, I'm giving $50. Well, you're not getting that back in commissions, but when you get 3, 6, 9, 10 people out of it, you are. So it's you have to not be so stuck on like, oh, that's more money than I'm making, I'm not breaking even. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. It's gonna push. It's gonna move that needle for you. So be generous. I mean, be smart, but be generous. Love your team, because they're the ones working for you. And just show them that you love them. I took the things to the people's front door, put it on the little card, the letter, and little tiny gifts. Like, it wasn't even that expensive, but they were thoughtful gifts to give these guys when they performed, or when they, sponsored even one ambassador. I pretty much gave everybody something that sponsored somebody that weekend. So.
Oh my gosh, Phyllis. Phyllis is the queen of drum and shiz up, you guys. Like, she gets a microscope on her team, and that's what I feel like it serves us to do that. Instead of zooming out so big and being like, I don't know, she gets a microscope, and she's like, how can I help that one person? How can I really care and pour into them? Like, that is your gift, Phyllis, and that's why you're so dang successful, and you will continue to be. I love that. That's another thing I wanted to say really quick is, when you are a leader, you are strategically thinking of your own incentives sometimes, right? It takes a little bit of brain power to sit down, but if you sit down and you say, okay, like we talked about, here's my goal, I wrote it across the top, Christy is whatever, or Sonia is emerald, or whatever, and then you say, and you start listing out what it's going to take, and you just start working out possibilities. If you can orchestrate an incentive that's going to help you reach that goal, it is going to create momentum that your team buys into, because it's exciting, it's fun, it wakes them up, it reminds them of why they do it. So don't always wait for your upline to do an incentive. Just like Phyllis, if you want to move the needle, be super strategic about what you want to do and create something. Reach out to your upline and say, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think, right? Because remember, when you're a leader, you are the epicenter. You don't wait for your upline to do stuff. You create it. You are the epicenter of the action and the momentum, and it does ripple out. So that's another thing. Anybody else have ideas or questions? I need to do this a month in bonus.
I have a real, can I answer a real quick question? So I reached out to a white line because I noticed that her subscription was off. And she said that she had stopped taking the product. A lot of things came up, but she is going to get back on. And she's got all the product that she needs right now, and she wants to wait to turn it back on. How can I help her understand the value of keeping it going? I know you're going to have extra product. We all do at times. But just the importance of keeping it going.
Yeah, so Brooke said find something new for her to try. That's always, I feel like Brooke's really good at that as well. For me too, what are her goals, and suggest trying some different things. Yeah, so maybe she needs a different combination of products. For me, when people have a ton of extra, that means they're not bought into the vision yet because they're not being consistent taking it. So that's when I say, okay, so tell me the 3 things that you wanted to change again, right? You want better energy, you want better sleep and anxiety. Okay, you will get that if you are consistent, if you are patient and do it long enough, and if you allow me to stay in touch and help you tweak your products. Those 3 things are what people need, right? And obviously we're going to address lifestyle things as well, like are you drinking water, are you moving, if they want to get results, depending on what they want. But to me, I always go back to, well, let's be consistent taking your products, because you shouldn't have extra products, right? So like what's way underneath that is that they haven't totally bought into that they will get results if they consume the products every single day. Does that make sense? So if that is the case, then that can be helpful. Don't forget about drawings Plexus is doing. Yes, they created that incentive specifically for that. I love it. So does that help, Vicki? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So yeah, again, like a lot of times we want to go right for the, how can I get 100 PV out of this person, right? And of course we want to create that as an end result, but that empathy of like, hey, but why are they not taking their products? Why do they have so much extra? If they're saying, I'm being consistent, well, no, you're not. Like, okay, we're not going to call them out, but we're going to say, okay, so the way this is set up, right, you're supposed to have a new 30-day supply. You're supposed to use it all every 30 days. So just building that value that people will get results is going to be helpful. Anybody else? Yes. So many reasons for people to order this month and helping them get a few new ones to try. Yes, the drawing is for everyone. I think so. Everyone that has 100 PV. Is that what they were saying? Follow up is key. Yes. Okay, so yeah, and another way is, Vicki, if you're offering an incentive or something, if you create enough value for them to try some different products that maybe would get them more instant results, or maybe the meta burn and something else, there's always ways to figure out how to help them get an order in, if that's what you're doing. Okay, anybody else have questions? Thank you so much for coming, you guys. This has been awesome. I hope you've gotten a lot of value out of these calls, because we've loved just pouring into you and giving you great ideas. And we'll have something that we're going to continue. We don't know exactly what, but thank you so much for coming. You're amazing. I want to just, last thing, I want you to know that you are a leader, and that if you don't have the skills right now, and if you have personal development that needs to take place, you can do that, right? You can do the personal development. You can learn the skills. And as you do that, and you are in Diamond University for a couple of years, not 12, you're going to learn the skills. You're going to become the best version of yourself, and you are going to step into abundance financially that you never dreamt possible. It's worth it. So it's worth learning the skills. It's worth showing up to these calls. It's worth failing and continuing forward. Okay, so I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming. Create such a beautiful day. We'll talk to you all really soon. Bye.